beans from a burrito.
You know, like, who are these guys? Axe and Smash, you know, these fucking guys he brought in and threw some paint base on them, which was his answer to the Road Warriors, who was true legends, you know, in the business.
You know, a funny story about the Axe and Smash is that was really like the whole gimmick, the whole bondage thing, the whole S&M thing. That was Vince McMahon.
Any truth to the rumor that you guys were bumped a month from WrestleMania 3 ahead of time? And instead of having you guys on there, they went ahead and decided to put in that King Kong Bundy and his midget partners versus Hillbilly Jim and his midgets. Is there any truth to that rumor that you guys were bumped for that match?
That was Hulk Hogan taking a rib on us because we were smaller than the rest of them.
Not only that, we were reeling from a couple injuries at the time. We, as a tag team, felt that we wouldn't have put on the best show for a WrestleMania at that time. Now you get WrestleManias, it's just like a fucking Monday Night Raw, man. That's all it is. The WrestleManias used to be special back in the day. They used to save the best matches for back then. The wrestlers used to put on such a good show and give their 100%. We were not our 100%, so we couldn't give the fans 100%.
So Hulk Hogan got some freaking midgets from Barnum and Bailey Circus and told him to go in the ring with Billy Jack and that fat fuck. Not Billy Jack, fucking Hillbilly Jim and King Kong Bundy, and they went and got some freaking midgets from the Pizza Circus.
King Kong Bundy is? Trash truck?
He looks like a fucking penis breaking out of a garbage bag. That's what he looks like.
Yeah.
Anyways, they get some midgets from the circus and they throw them out there, take our spot. It's a rib towards us because they can fucking move fast and they're small like we are. I'm only fucking 5'6", man.
Now you were mentioning about not being big enough. Were there any pressures at the time to do things like steroids, anything like that at the time in order to boost yourself, make yourself look bigger?
I'm big enough, shit.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's something I can't really go into now since I was subpoenaed back in 1989. There was a scandal I'm sure some of you know about regarding steroids, illegal steroids being brought up from south of the border to Stamford, Connecticut. I had some part in that, the south of the border connection, but that's all I'll go into as far as that is concerned, because I do feel that some of my influence that has brought upon a lot of deceased friends in this wrestling society, and it's a vicious cycle, man. It's got to be stamped out of there, man.
What caused your leave from the WWF back in like 1988, 89?
My visa expired. I had to go back.
With me, his visa expired. Had to go back. There was someone writing on the wall. The steroids, the pressure to do them, and us not wanting to do them was another thing of Vince looking at us saying, "You're not loyal to me. If you were loyal to me in the business, you would do what it takes for the business." We gave our hearts, our blood, our soul, everything you could think of to the business. And this pinche vato, who built his business on the blood of others and the territories of others, wanted us to change our style. One thing I will say is he never asked us to take our masks off.
He's not asking. Like the mask.
Who approached you to move on to World Championship Wrestling in '89 once you got your visa back?
It was the flying pendejo Dusty Rhodes. He approached us to go back over there because he saw us in Minnesota, and he remembered how well he ate and he was getting kind of thin again. So The Rock came up to tell us, "Why don't you come to WCW and then you can wrestle with us?" And that's what we did. It was Dusty Rhodes who brought us in. And that Pizza Hut guy, what's his name? The Pizza Hut guy.
Jim Herd.
Jim Herd, the Pizza Hut man. Yeah, the guy with the pizzas. He brought us in. It was really good stuff. We got free pizzas too.
What was the atmosphere in WCW like, the political environment? Because at that time you said Dusty brought you in, but then he took off to go do a stint in the WWF after he deliberately got fired.
Well, at that time it was kind of like, it was better than what it was in '96. Everybody was hungry. You know, Vince had fucked a lot of people over, man. And people were looking for, you know, people wanted to take down the empire, so to speak. We were hungry. Everybody was hungry. The booking was good. We were working with a lot of old friends. Flair, you know, he was there. You know, Cactus Jack was obviously getting his start. He was doing real good to him, man. It was just a good, fresh time for everybody, man. People were just real fresh, real hungry. It was something new. It was a pink cloud.
What about like Bill Watts? When he came in, he instituted that one rule, the no moves off the top rope. He started changing everything. How did that affect? Were you able to adjust your style to that? How did that affect your wrestling?
That fucking killed us.
He pretended to be injured because he was just like a castrated fucking bull, man.
It's like you have one testicle, right? And you try and tie one off, which only produces half the G's. You know, you can't get it done with half the G. You don't go starting a race not to finish it. You have to do it off the top rope.
He's a scared fucking pussy. He didn't want to get sued because some fucking kids were jumping off their cinder blocks wall with a fucking elbow.
The fucking mask that we sold.
You know, he was scared of the backlash. So he pushed out. He had no loyalty to the business. He had no loyalty to us. He had no loyalty to anybody by taking our moose away of our true sport, of our true art form.
Now, when Eric Bischoff came in, finally took over the reins, he was trying to revamp everything. He apparently didn't know what to do with you guys, so he re-debuted you guys as Villano's, 6 and Villano's 12. How did you feel about that? Because
I love this song.
Well, as far as the Villano fiasco was concerned, at that time, he had such an ironclad contract on us. Had we up and left, or had we refused to do anything, we were in violation of our contracts. Therefore, our hands were tied. Therefore, we couldn't send money to our families. By this time, we have families to support. So, unfortunately, I'm ashamed to admit it, but not in the Flying Burrito Brothers fashion. We sold out.
Plus, he promised us we get paid for every appearance we did. So, on paper, we're down as Villano's 6 and 12. In reality, I'm Villano's 12, 32, 46, 94, and 134.
And the thing about it is he was getting the Villanos in the ring, wrestling with these fucking ex-football players who didn't know what the fuck they were doing. Kevin Green. All these football players coming in, wrestling, hurting and ruining the careers of some lucha libres that were hungry, and came up and he put the Villano masks on them. So he had the bright idea to say, well, the Villanos keep on getting hurt, they look the same. Villano 1 and 2, let's just make 3, 4, 5, 6, all the way up to 130 fucking 2.
Do you think that was the reason that you weren't pushed because of the fact you were from Mexico? Do you think that was the reason, or was it because you weren't cronies with Hulk Hogan?
I think we were pushed because A, we were from Mexico and we were good. B, Hulk Hogan came into the industry, into the company by this time. He had his contract written and had 5 lawyers look at his fucking contract, which gave him creative control over his character. Had me and him wrestled, at that time, the tag team of Ric Flair, and Dusty Rhodes, and the Four Horsemen were making a comeback. We were wrestling, Dean Malenko, Chris Benoit. This was starting up into 94, 95. We were not willing to put some of these guys over, but then again, if we were willing to put them over because it was in our contracts, he said, I don't want you to put Chris Benoit over, or I want you to... Hulk Hogan had a stranglehold on that company.
See?
Anything that we did is kind of like throwing a rock in a pond, the wave effect. If we did something small and it affected some feud Hulk Hogan was having, and if it made him look bad, fuck it. Even if our match was third removed from what he was doing, if it affected a character or a wrestler that was directly involved with Hulk Hogan, fuck it.
So, you guys were then reduced down to doing Saturday night every once in a while. WCW